Hello everyone, welcome to CruiseAway, TV's most exciting destination for everything holiday and cruise. I'm Derek and along with Joe here, we're spending the next half an hour showcasing 3 fabulous luxury deals with Holland America Line. And we've got some real adventures coming your way.
We certainly do. And in just a few moments, we'll be taking you to Japan in spring to experience the incredible cherry blossoms, the sakuras. Oh, amazing. We'll then be sampling the geishas and glaciers as we cruise from Japan to Alaska before we round off the show with an epic 30-night getaway, taking in the islands of Indonesia and the Andaman Sea.
Fantastic. Now, before we get on board, if you've just found us here at CruiseAway, then let's first tell you some more about us and why we are the first choice for you here in Australia.
Here at CruiseAway, we've been sending Australian travellers on amazing cruise holidays for over 25 years. Our award-winning team specialise in bringing you the best deals from all major cruise lines, sailing right across the globe. Whether you're looking to cruise locally or afar, with thousands of unmissable deals available right now, you can be sure we'll find you your perfect cruise holiday. So, if you're ready, let's go cruising.
We're definitely ready. We were born ready, weren't we?
Let's go in search of that lovely falling cherry blossom. I want one of those umbrellas, and I want to walk through those avenues of cherry blossoms when the petals are raining down. And I know it's all about timing. It's all about timing.
Yeah.
So you might be there when the blossom is absolutely firmly stuck to the trees. You might be there where it's all rained down.
Well,
but either way, it's magical to be there, isn't it?
Either way, it's magical.
Yeah.
And everything in life is all about timing. And luckily for you, you've tuned in at the right time and here at the right, your resource here, the right place for incredible cruise adventures directly to your door, of course, in the comfort of your own living room. So should we go on our first adventure, as promised?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cherry blossoms in Japan for 18 nights on the 13th of March next year. Now, we're going to fly you from Sydney to Tokyo for a 3-night pre-cruise stay.
What an amazing city.
Yes, Tokyo, what an incredible city. Of course, this is the bustling capital of Japan, and it mixes the ultra-modern and the traditional from, of course, your neon-lit skyscrapers through to historic temples. Now, the opulent Meiji Shinto shrine is known for its towering gate and surrounding woods. That's an absolute must-see when you're there. There's the Shibuya crossing, where you can see thousands of people crossing the street at any one time. May sound like a little thing, but boy, this is one of the most photographed, if not the most photographed crossing on Earth. And here's your beautiful ship. Now, I was very fortunate to work on the Western Am for 6 months and absolutely love this ship. You'll call her a home from home in no time. Now, the beautiful thing about Holland America Line is it very much is that relaxed cruising experience, but with all the luxury you'd expect from 6 stars. Honestly, you have got much more pared down spaces, so it's all about that lovely traditional polished wood you'd see on a yacht and the striped deck chairs out on deck. But at the same time, you know, when you sit down to eat your meal in the Pinnacle Grill or the main dining room, you will know that you are experiencing a different level of quality beyond measure. And Holland America Line is all about enrichment. So it's not just about the destination, it's about true voyaging and actually experiencing the whole encompassed experience of being on the vessel and learning about new things in different parts of the world. One of my favourite things on board is their programme with the executive chef, which is the Culinary Arts Club. And you can actually learn to cook some signature dishes, which normally, honestly, an executive chef would keep top secret. So they're sharing their delights with you. It might be the molten chocolate cake you're going to learn, or a signature risotto dish. So you're actually going to return home with some new skills, which is lovely. Maybe you're going to do some cocktail mixing or wine tasting or beer tasting, and all the while be planning your adventures in port, because your destination expert team will actually be talking you through the different ports of call and excursions you can book, and honestly how to maximise your time and money in the ports of call as well, so you don't miss a beat on this adventure.
It looks amazing. It's funny as well, actually, the enrichment side of cruising is they're the things that you remember. You might be bringing a new skill home with you. Like you say, you might be bringing a new dish back with you that you'll actually recreate at home as well. But they're all part of memory making, and that's what cruising is so good at, isn't it, compared to a regular land-based holiday?
Oh yeah, every element of your cruise is creating memories. It's magical. They also have a firm influence on the importance of music and different types of music on Holland America Line. So you've got the BB King's All-Stars for the best of Memphis music to see. They have their show band and so much more, their live shows every night. Shall we see where we're off to? Well, first of all, straight out of Tokyo, you're heading to Naha, which is known for its beautiful and lush mangrove forests, and also you can head to a distillery there as well. Lots of lovely natural beauty. Straight on to Ishigaki Island, which is a beautiful sort of unabashed paradise, and expect some of the best beaches in Japan in this port. Next up, we're on to Hualien, and this is Taiwan. So you've got an amazing opportunity to go whale and dolphin watching here again, the natural beauty being forefront. Taipei next, and this is a really interesting port. You can actually go to some incredible shrines or head over to the Memorial Hall right there as well. Next, we're on to Kagoshima, also Japan, and this is on Kyushu Island, the capital of the Kagoshima Prefecture. There's the lava trail there to see. We're on next to Abaratsu, and this is where you can actually see the best of Japan's Sunshine Coast. Devil's Washboard is a point of interest. Koshi's next, and known for its Koshi Castle and beautiful Makino Botanical Garden. And imagine those perfectly manicured gardens in Japan. That's what they're known for. Kobe next, of course, known for the incredible beef, and also where you can head up to the Kobe Port Tower and see a lovely viewpoint over the entire city. Very, very beautiful sights to see in the port of Kobe. And they're known at night, because we have a night stop here actually, for the tower lighting up, so you can get some overnight viewpoints here. Shimizu's next, and this is your point for seeing Mount Fuji. Of course, that iconic mountain with volcano with the cone that is undeniably recognizable. Just an overview of your itinerary. Of course, we're heading back into the port for Tokyo, and we've included your transfer from the port to the airport to fly you home to Sydney. Now, if you do want to stay extra time in Japan, in Tokyo, or maybe head somewhere else in the east as part of this adventure, speak to our team about it. But I love this amazing itinerary. You're covering so much of the best of Japan and Taiwan right there.
Yeah, it looks a really nice adventure, this one, doesn't it? It's fantastic to have the couple of nights in Tokyo, and as Joe mentioned, if 2 nights isn't enough, remember, we can tailor that and make it longer if you want to, or maybe you want to shift the stay to the end of the cruise, or maybe have both. Have one at the beginning and one at the end. It's completely and utterly up to you. But as this package has been put together for the 13th of March next year, the price tag is extraordinary, let me tell you. $300 each today as a deposit will make this price happen for you. And the price tag is extraordinary. When you consider just, again, how much there is included here. I always look at the value dollar for dollar here. When you consider what you're getting your flights, of course, to and from Tokyo. You've got 2 nights in a hotel. Now, that's room only in Tokyo, so you can explore and do as you want to, which is really, really fantastic. It's 3 nights, is it, in Tokyo? Oh, man, even better. Fantastic. And then you've got the cruise itself. All of that under $5,000 each right now. Let's look at the upgrades as well. If you want to upgrade that stateroom up to an ocean view or up to a balcony on this one, it is incredible. Really, really nice opportunity, this one. And of course, remember, at the very end of the cruise, we've included that transfer to get you from the ship to the airport for the flight home. And you can book everything, should I say, right now for a deposit of just $300 each, which is pretty incredible if you think about it. It means you can put a nice plan in place for next year and know that you are going out to Japan. And of course, the reference to cherry blossoms there is the fact that you're talking about the time of year where those blossoms are really coming into bloom in Japan as well. And they have lots and lots of festivals in some of these ports as well, and places where you can really explore and kind of get to know the real Japan as well. It's a place that everyone wants to travel to and to go to. Now we're doing a completely different adventure right now for you. Geishas and glaciers, not 2 things that obviously you would put together, but we have in one incredible package, Joe.
Yes, we have, and we're also leaving next year on the 25th of April. So again, that's going to be in cherry blossom season.
Yes.
So your opportunity to see some of those beautiful blossoms in the ports in Japan. We're going to fly you from Sydney to Tokyo for a 2-night pre-cruise stay in, of course, the nation's capital. And if you are a history buff, there'll be tons for you to see. But if you're a shopper, oh my gosh, Japan is known for it. There's tons of quirky cafes you can visit, including the Vampire Cafe and the Robot Cafe. Vampire Cafe. Yep, everyone's dressed up as vampires. They also love their cat cafes in Japan.
Oh, how cute.
It's where it originated, the whole concept.
Nice.
So if you've been to one back home, you'll love it. Absolutely love it. The Imperial Palace sits amidst lovely large public gardens, and they've got many museums giving you lots of classical art opportunities. And of course, joining the beautiful and elegant MS Westerdam, who has recently undergone an upgrade. And do you know what? The Westerdam has actually won multiple Best Cruise Ship awards as well for Best Itinerary and also, Cruise Critic Awards. The food is spectacular on Holland America Line. As I mentioned before, there's a firm feature on enrichment and learning how to cook dishes. But it's the simplest of things that you will enjoy, just relaxing on deck, watching the sea just, float by and just enjoying that whole vibe of being truly on vacation and not feeling like you're in a rush to do anything. Because at the end of the day, when you're on a cruise, the destinations come to you, not the other way around. And maybe you're new to cruising. I have to say, Holland America Line is a brilliant first experience at sea because it is so much a home away from home.
And let's talk about the sea if you are new to cruising as well, because a lot of people don't venture on their first cruise because they think they're not going to be able to deal with the sea.
Yes, very true.
Because their vision of it is sitting in a little rowboat and, rocking around in every direction. Yeah. Remember, these cruise ships are larger vessels, obviously, and they have something called stabilizers, which actually minimizes the movement. I'm not saying there's no movement while you're at sea, but it minimizes that because of the size and the scale of the ship and the way that it's configured. So even if you think, well, I'm not a sailor, I can't go to sea, I would say try a cruise, because of course there are the bands and things that you can use as well. So if you've never been before, take that first step, because it might not be anywhere near what you might imagine.
That's very true, Derek, and you'll be very surprised, I think. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time when the cruises are inland anyway and going from one destination to the next, you won't really even feel it moving. The food on board, my goodness, tamarind for your Eastern flair is so decadent and gorgeous. Canaletto, which is delicious Italian. You've also got my favourite, the Pinnacle Grill, for that indulgent experience, and a nominal additional fee. Very reasonable, Holland America Line, when it comes to things like that. Lincoln Centre Stage, if you want to listen to some live music. They love their live music on Holland America Line. Expect to see it everywhere, but very high quality bands. Now we're cruising out of Yokohama, of course, the port for Tokyo. A day at sea takes us into beautiful Moran, and this is where you can visit a whiskey distillery. Actually,
Nice.
Japan's well known for
Incredible
its whiskey.
whiskies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
well known. Next up, we're into Kashiro, and known for its beautiful nature. So you can head to the Tancho Nature Park, which is world famous right there for a bit of exploring. Kodiak, Alaska. I know we're hopping into Alaska now. This is known for its Kodiak bears. So you might want to head to a wildlife reserve and see some of these beauties in their natural habitat. Icy Strait Point beckons next, and this has got the largest zip line in the continental US, and it goes right through the most spectacular views you've ever seen. You're in the Great White North, beautiful Ketchikan. If you can, take a float plane through the misty fjords. It's an unforgettable, once-in-a-lifetime experience. We have some scenic cruising. It will take us into British Columbia, Victoria, which is a cute little chocolate box town full of wineries and lots of exploring and lots of shopping. Then we're cruising into Seattle, and you'll disembark and have 2 fabulous nights in lovely Seattle on the Pacific Northwest. Famous for Starbucks. It's where Starbucks started, actually, and the whole coffee culture. You've got the Space Needle there, which rotates. You can get a really lovely meal up there. Take an ocean cruise. This is what I did, ocean cruise, a sunset cruise of the harbour. Really lovely. Pike Place Market for some shopping. People are super friendly in Seattle. It's also known for its music scene. It's kind of the origin of grunge music down there as well. So lots of great live music, not just the grunge, loads of other things too. Hiking, kayaking at your doorstep in Mount Rainier and other national parks. What an amazing trip. And we should also mention, during this adventure, you have some spectacular scenic cruising. You know, you're actually going to get to see the glaciers carve. You're going to get to see natural wildlife probably in the habitat there in Alaska, spanning thousands of square kilometers of national park. So it really is a once-in-a-lifetime adventure.
And complete contrast as well, isn't it, on this cruise, because Japan and Alaska are very diametrically opposed. Well, they're very big words. I don't know if I've swallowed a dictionary. But they're very, very different places. Japan, of course, very cultural, very spiritual, very fascinating as well. People do want to head to Japan. It's one of the big travel hotspots right now. And Alaska, well, Alaska is all about the dramatic and breathtaking scenery. It's all about the whale watching. It's all about watching the glaciers carving and everyone having that individual experience whilst there as well. I love the fact that you've got the 2 stays in here. That's really, really fantastic. You've got the stay in Tokyo before you cruise, and then you've got the stay in Seattle at the end of the cruise as well. So this is a really, really nice way to just have different kinds of experiences. When you stay as well in Tokyo and Seattle, it's in a hotel, it's room only, so you get to explore and go and find exactly what you want. It means you can find some lovely local restaurants as well. Of course, you'll do what everyone does. Go to TripAdvisor and other review sites and see, you know, the best restaurants to go and eat, places that are highly reviewed, places that other people have been to before that you can enjoy. This is a joy of a package as well, by the way. It is for April next year, but we can put a deposit down today to make the price that we've got locked in for you. So $300 each today, and that's it. We can get this price locked in for you, and it's a really stunning offer, let me tell you. When you look at how broad it is and how much is included, particularly on the cruise as well, you'll be really surprised on the cruise what's involved in your cruise fare, what's included in your cruise fare. It's amazing. Look at that, $5,299 each. Listen, I would be very, very quick to snap up these offers because these kind of offers don't come up too often, actually. Bringing Alaska and Japan together is something I haven't seen very often on travel itineraries anywhere around the world. It's amazing. Call us now, 1300 306 134 if you want to make this happen. I think this is going to be a really, really memorable holiday for you as well. Something very, very special, something that will have a real legacy as well. Let's have a look if you want to upgrade on the cruise as well to ocean view or to balcony. You also have your suite price there as well. Bear in mind that on this holiday, out of the 19 nights, I think this is in total, isn't it? Yeah, 15 of those are actually on the cruise. So when you look at the upgrade prices, they are exceptional, let me tell you. Look at that, less than $200 each to go up to an ocean view, for instance, for a 15-night cruise. And bear in mind, this is a scenic cruise as well, not only in Japan, but in Alaska as well. If you want any more details, call us now, 1300 306 134. So we are cruising with Holland America Line right now in this show, and they have an excellent reputation, and they have a high passenger repeat rate as well. So people, once they discover Holland America, they go back again and again and again. Do you know what? I'm not one bit surprised either, because there's a real kind of home from home feel. It's a really relaxed atmosphere. It's a very chilled vibe. You know, some of the cruise lines are all about, you know, thrills and spills and amusement parks and whatever. And actually, some people, that's not for them. Some people would like that classic cruising experience, but still plenty going on. And actually, it's almost like you come back with an extra suitcase of memories, experiences, enrichments. It's almost you come back with more than you went with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really special, and it's much more low key, but it's not about the all singing, all dancing. But that, for many people, like experiencing like being on a large yacht, is what we want when we cruise.
A real break.
Because it's a true voyage as well.
Yeah.
And you know, Australian cruisers, time after time, love Holland America Line. You become a mariner, they call it, when you become you cruise more than once. So it's a really special experience. So let's look at our next adventure, and we are heading to the islands of Indonesia and the Andaman Sea for 30 nights. nights on the 24th of November. I mean, that is an absolute dinger of an itinerary. We're going to fly from Sydney to Singapore for a one-night pre-cruise stay to get you in the mood, and then you're going to board the ship. And of course, your beautiful MS Westerdam awaits, and she is going to be your home for the next 29 nights on board. 28 nights, excuse me. So a whole full month.
Wowzers.
I know.
That's a real break. That's a real voyage, isn't it? That's a real chance to unwind. And bear in mind, by the way, when we go through the itinerary, we highlight the ports. There are sea days and cruising days in between, and they are your complete relaxation switch off. You can be as busy as you like. There's the gym, the spa, lots of activities all the time. But they are your time where you don't have any pressure of missing out on a port. You can completely guilt-free have that lovely lie-in.
Well, you also have the Greenhouse Spa, and the Greenhouse Spa has a thermal suite with lesotherapy beds. You've got hot rooms there as well, so you can actually enjoy the sauna and steam room, and they have also a therapeutic pool that you can enjoy for an additional fee, which is great. And by the way, if you are a suite guest, so if you've upgraded to the suite, you have something called the Neptune Lounge, which is a concierge lounge just for you. You've got your own kind of food and dining and snacks in there and coffee, and you have a concierge to help you 24/7. So that's a lovely little additional if you're treating yourself to that sweet experience. And I think why not when you're on this adventure? You know, you deserve it. You've worked hard for this trip. Now, also when it comes to just the day-to-day relaxing, they have fantastic shows on board in the theatre every single night, and they will fly different acts on. So it's not just, if you're there for obviously you're there for 28 nights, you're not just going to see the same shows on repeat. They make sure they give you a different experience every night, whether that is a featured act, like an a cappella singer, they might have a group on board, they might have a cellist, they might have a comedian, they might have the cruise director and their team doing something like a game show. So there's always something to keep you interested, with different show times to suit your dining experience as well. So it can all be tailored in to what you want to experience. There's no pressure either.
Well, and also actually, if you're not someone who, goes to the theatre, that kind of experience isn't for you. You don't have to. The thing is, no one's knocking on the door saying, right, come on, it's time for this, it's time for that. You do as much or as little and take part in as much as little or as little as you want to. And that is the joy of a cruise. It truly is a holiday built around you. So, 28 nights. It's going to be some voyage out of Singapore. Here we go.
Yes, and our first port is lovely Jakarta, Indonesia. Of course, this is the capital, and you have a historic mix of cultures here, from Javanese, Malay, Chinese, Arab, and Indian to European. Off next to another port in Java, Probolinggo, and this is where you can see beautiful waterfalls cascading through those amazing jungles. Next up, we have a day at sea taking us to the famed Komodo Island, which is a national park and the habitat of the 3-meter-long Komodo dragon monitor lizard. Get to see them. Lombok's next, and this is a motor vehicle-free island in the archipelagos of Indonesia. And by the way, there's 18,000 islands in Indonesia. We're not going to visit them all. One of the famed ones, of course, is Bali. Benua's our first port, where you can visit the famed monkey forest or Puratanalot on the beach, which is lovely. Another port in Bali for you, Selakan Bawang. This is in the north, so maybe head out and do some dolphin watching there, or head to the Banjar Hot Springs, which are the holy springs. Next up, we're into Surabaya. Again, back into Java, and this is known for its famed gold and silversmithing. Maybe you want to go and see how it's all done and do a bit of negotiating. We're in Semarang next, also again in Java. This is where you can see, if you can take a trip out to the famed Borobudur Temple, I'd highly recommend. We have an overnight in Singapore next, in your Garden City. Maybe you want to visit Universal Studios or just relax at Gardens by the Bay. And then, of course, a drink in Raffles Hotel is an absolute must when you are in Singapore, as is some luxury shopping and some bartering at the market. Loads of fun things to do. Then we're into Phuket, Thailand, which is one of the most relaxing ports on your itinerary. Maybe you want to go to the elephant sanctuary and see these adorable creatures in their natural habitat. Langkawi beckons us next, and this is known as the Jewel of Kedah, and it's a duty-free island on the archipelago of 99 islands off the coast of Malaysia. Penang next, and known for its famed habitat Penang Hill, which which is an award-winning rainforest discovery centre and UNESCO Biosphere Reserve there. Kuala Lumpur next, and this is a fabulous port because you can see the Petronas Twin Towers and see exceptional views and enjoy the Batu Caves as well. We're into Jakarta next, and this is back again, so you get another visit, which is brilliant because there's so much to see in the capital of the Indonesian islands. Next up, we're back into Samarang again, and you might want to head this time to the Sampalong Temple or just do a spot of shopping in the markets. Lots to see and do right there. Back again into Surabaya. I love that you get a double stop in a lot of these ports. It's fantastic because there's never enough time, is there? You kind of always want to see something else. And then again into Bali, into the north, and you might want to head to the Livina Beach. And of course, Bali is known for its exceptional beaches and marine life. Now, a couple of days sees us back into Singapore, where we'll disembark. And we've included your transfer from the port to the airport. Of course, it's a nice short trip back to Australia from Singapore, which is nice. And I just absolutely love this itinerary. I mean, getting to stop in those ports in Indonesia twice means that you properly get the immersive cultural experience.
Yeah, I think that's a bonus, actually. Again, just harking back to a point I was making earlier, that on a sea day you don't have the pressure of missing out on a port. Also, if you're repeating a port, you can plan to go on maybe the first time it goes to that port, and then the second time you think, oh, actually, do you know what? We're going to stay on the ship. The second time it goes to that place, we're going to stay on the ship because it feels like we have more of it to ourselves because people are off doing excursions and whatever. Or there's something else that you didn't get to do the first time. Because there's nothing worse sometimes, let me tell you, on cruises than you coming back from a port day and you've done one thing, and the people at the table next to you that you talk to at dinner of an evening tell you about something they did in that place, and you think, I would have loved to do that. You actually get a chance to actually go back and do it again, because it's good. I mean, sometimes that is a frustration I hear sometimes when people come back for a cruise. They say, you know what, we did this one thing in this port, and then on the table next to us we were talking to a couple and they did this thing and we really wanted to do that. But that's the nature of cruising. It means you can go again in the future. So it comes up in November. That's not that far away if you think about it at all, is it? That comes around before we know it. And the price tag on this one is absolutely incredible. Think about the length of the cruise that you are doing here, all the travel as well. Look at that. And that is a true break, as Joe said. You've got your night in Singapore at the beginning. Remember, you visit Singapore again for an overnight in the middle of the cruise, which is brilliant. Your flights are included and all of that for this price here, $5,599 each. Let's have a look at your upgrades as well, because we were talking earlier about just the joy of, well, Joe was mentioning earlier, the suite experience and what that brings you as well. And it's many more things than just, you know, private lounges and restaurants and areas just for suite guests. The amenities and the perks that come with a suite are many and plenty. And if you want to talk those through with our team, of course you can. 1300 306 134 is our telephone number. It's an amazing experience. But again, when you're on a cruise which is 28 nights, I think actually having just that balcony experience is wonderful. Being able to, on a sea day, have that kind of, you know, have got that late breakfast out on the balcony, bought to you, room service included in the price of the cruise as well.
And
it's incredible.
Derek,
go on.
I have to say, no one does breakfast like Holland American Line.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, the Eggs Benny station, the waffles, the pancakes, all your favourites on offer.
I'm hungry.
I know, or maybe even just a healthier choice, you've got it there. But keep watching, stay tuned, and make sure you book soon.
See you soon.